Hello and welcome. Thank you for your time. This presentation is presented by Excel Abundance. We felt that there was a need to increase individuals with the knowledge of how to order their credit report, how to clean it up and update it, and what does FICO mean, the FICO credit score rating, and how can that benefit each individual. So we are going to start our presentation. We encourage you to get a pen and a notepad. So now we're going to get into how to review and some ways to review your credit score and how to clean and update your credit report. It's very important when you receive your report to take some time out to read through your report carefully. The first thing I would ask you to do is get out a highlighter. I get out my yellow highlighter and I spread everything out on the table. I get my yellow highlighter out because I'm ready to start circling, highlighting things that, don't look right or what have you. Don't look like it should be in my report at all because I know nothing about it. Some of the examples you might want to look at is there anything on your report, any collection information over 7 years old, or information regarding a former spouse that should not be on your report? Any information of companies you've never seen before at all? Just highlight all of this. Anything on there you have no idea about. It could be if you own a home and mortgage companies tend to sell our mortgage loans to other companies, and so there might be a company on there you may have never heard of before. Highlight it, circle it. You can ask the credit bureau about it. They can do some investigation for you. If you have a bankruptcy on your report and it's been 7 years, then you can write in and request them to remove it. 1 out of the 3, though, they make you wait 10 years, and I can't remember which one it is, but you can always call them, write them, or email them and ask them if this is a situation you're dealing with. Perhaps your report states that you were employed at a company you have never heard of before. You want to check that out. Anything that's on your report that you are not familiar with, it is up to you to write in and request it either to be taken off and or send information in that proves that this information is not correct and request them to take it off, to remove it. And usually they're really good about doing so. So next, we're going to discuss how to submit a change request to update your credit report. It's time to update your report. The information to include in your letter response. This is very important. You want to use some of this verbiage because this is actually the normal information you should be using, such as dating your letter, adding your name and your address at the top, stating the department you're writing to, which is generally the complaint department. Include your credit report reference number. Once you order your credit report from each company, each bureau, I should state, when you receive your credit report, there should be a reference number on your credit report. Anytime you write in, you email, and or you speak to someone from these bureaus over the phone, you want to always have your reference number available because they will request that number from you. That is the number that they look up to make sure that you and them are talking about the same credit report, since they change all the time. Remember to use the correct name of the credit bureau you are writing to. So if you're writing to Experian, you want to make sure you don't have Equifax address on there and Equifax name and or TransUnion. So make sure you double check your letterhead to make sure you're sending your information to the correct credit bureau. In your letter, you want to describe what information you would like the bureau to remove and or to investigate. Include the reason why. I'm going to show you an example on the next screen here. In addition, don't forget to add your contact phone number, because sometimes they will contact you, and so you want to make sure that you add your phone number, whether it's your cell number or your landline. In addition, at the end of the letter, make sure you add a salutation at the bottom of your letter, and you'll see that example on the next screen as well. So here's one example of a letter. Again, you want to include the date and your name. I have here Mrs. Clean My Credit, and your address, city, state. You see the complaint department, Equifax Credit Bureau, and their address. Dear sir or madam, your reference number, please include that. I'm writing to dispute the following information in my file. The items I'm disputing are encircled on the attached credit report I received. And so you'll state what you are asking them to look into. In this particular letter is, for example, it states this item, bankruptcy chapter 13, disputed by me, Mrs. Cleanup Credit. Such bankruptcy has been on my credit report over 7 years. This bankruptcy ended. You state the year that it ended. I am requesting that the item be deleted to update my credit report. Enclosed are copies of your copies of your court documents, because what you're doing is you are attaching the facts that help resolve this request that you are having. And so you want to always attach factual documentation that support your claim, so that support your position. So you want to ask them to please investigate these matters and delete the disputed items as soon as possible. Make sure you sign it and send it off. And make yourself a copy, so when they do call you or contact you, if they call you, you can have a copy in your hand, and as they're reviewing it, you both have the same thing in front of your face. So you want to make sure you do that. Example of another letter. Again, you have your date on top, your name, your address, attention, Experian, complaint department, for example, address, city, state, zip. Dear sir, madam, I'm writing to dispute the following information within my credit report file. I have circled the item or items I wish to dispute on the attached copy of the report I received. Again, use your highlighter, yellow highlighter, and or put a star. Sometimes I just take a pen and put a star by that item and underline it 3 times to make sure that they are looking at the exact same thing that I am inquiring about. And so, as you can see, the letter states this item. Again, identify the disputed item. In the parentheses there, you state I'm disputing by name of source, such as creditors or tax court. Identify type of item, such as credit account, judgment, etc. And you state because, describe what is inaccurate or incomplete and why. You see where the parentheses. You can take out your cell phone, take a picture of this example of this letter, and just again critique your own type of letter using this format. You state enclosed are copies of, like I said, always have factual, factual documentation that supports your claim, that supports your position. That is very important, because that's what they're going to be looking for as well. And that way, when they do go to that company or whomever you're disputing, they'll have the facts. They'll have the facts with them so that they can have something to kind of argue with, argue your stance. And so that will help them resolve this matter even quicker. So you sign it sincerely, Mrs. Excellent Credit, well, your name, of course, and then enclosure. So you type what you've enclosed. So if you type court documents, you'll state under enclosures, see court documents attached, exhibit A, B, or what have you. So hope that was very helpful in giving you some examples of how your letters can be written. So next we're going to discuss how to keep your credit healthy. Remember, don't leave it to the credit bureaus. This is your credit report. This is your FICO credit score on the line, and you want to increase it so that you can have a better interest rate when you go to make these major purchases. And remember, it's free to check your credit score once a year. It's no charge. Remember, it's up to you, not the credit bureaus. So don't leave it up to credit healthy, credit card healthy. First things, be sure to make at least a minimum payment due on your statement each month by the payment due date and or before. It's good to pay on your things early too. It looks good. Even making a payment of $5 more, $2 more when you make your payment, that helps too, and that can help drive your credit rating score above up as well, because what you're doing is that you're paying your balance off quicker. The more you increase your payment past what the statement states, you are paying off your balance quicker. So you also want to keep your balance under your credit limit. The closer you are to your credit limit, your credit report will receive a negative hit. Most companies encourage you to spend no more than a third of your credit line. Make sure your credit report is accurate by requesting and reviewing a copy of your credit report once a year, at least. Notify your creditor right away if your address or phone number has changed, so you don't miss any important communications. Now, these are some things I'm throwing in just as a few golden nuggets, things that you can do you might not have been aware of. You can request a lower interest rate if you've been paying on your credit cards on time for at least a year or more. You can call in and just say, I would like to request a lower interest rate because I've been paying on time, and I would like to request a lower interest rate. I believe I deserve that. And what can they say? They can either say yes or no. It's worth a shot. I'd always do it. Once a year, a lot of credit card companies, out of as a courtesy, will waive your late charge fee. And so again, this is just a little golden nugget. Sometimes things get, you get busy and you may forget one time that year, and you can call them up and say, I would like to request my late charge fee be waived, please. And they'll waive it. It could be $35, $45. If you have an American Express card, it can be even higher. So it pays to look into that. Sometimes we are told that banks and or credit unions may, upon request, waive an NSF charge fee that you may have for that year. So again, just as a courtesy, these are just a few golden nuggets that you may not ever thought of doing, but they could be an option for you. So it's worth trying. If you're overwhelmed with your finances, we encourage you to contact a nonprofit credit assistance foundation to get some assistance. If nothing else, to get some type of financial counseling. Some banks and credit unions offer that too. And so you might want to look into that. We encourage you to do so. If you're faced with a hardship and you can't make a payment, the best thing you can do is to contact that credit company. So contact your credit retailer company and or your banks. If it's a credit loan, contact these companies. If you can make your car payment if you can't make your car payment that month, that bank or credit union might say, I tell you what, since you're in a hardship this time, then we will allow you to pay the principal amount of your loan payment. And then most companies, what they'll do is add on that month to the end of your contract. And so even though you're not paying it right now, they'll add it to the end, so you'll have an additional month of a car loan payment. Again, see what their options are. For a credit card, they may do the same and just have you pay on the principal, and or maybe you can double up on the payment next month. But call them. Always call and see how they can assist you with your because of your situation, because of your hardship. Give them a call before your payment date. So we encourage you to call them before your payment date that month. Call them prior to and just let them know you're having a hardship. Again, for your home, now for your home could be a little different, not sure, but again, contact them. They may have you double up on your mortgage payments the following month. I don't know. They may have you just pay your principal and may be able to do the same that they do with the cars, meaning they'll attach that mortgage payment at the end of your contract. Again, I'm not sure, but please call and find out on your own. Find out, call them, and they will help you. Most companies prefer you to call them, and they're always more willing to assist you rather than you wait a month or a month and a half or 2 months and you get way behind, and then you have all these fees and all these late fees and accrued all these other fees. So it's best practice to call ahead of time and see how they can work with you. So we truly encourage you to do that. So the next thing I want to do is we want to point out the difference between a low and a high interest rate. And so what that means is that the higher your FICO credit score rating, the lower your interest will be when you make such purchases for such large purchases or low purchases. But again, when you go to purchase your vehicle or a home or services, some type of expensive services, you are more to receive a lower interest rate than a high interest rate. So let's look at a few things here. So what I've done to show you an example of the difference between a very low credit score, a low interest rate, and a high interest rate. So I looked up the cost of a 2017 Honda Accord, just a regular straight across the board 2017 Honda Accord without all the bells and whistles, and it was $22,445. And so I took a 22% interest rate, which is very high. And most car dealerships, they always say we can get anybody in the car, and they pretty much can, because they can go up on your interest rate. I'm not sure how high they can go up, but I believe 22%, 24%, 26%. But I'm going to utilize a 22% interest rate on a $22,445 Honda Accord. And this interest rate calculates out to $4,937.90. Now, this package deal does not include the vehicle, the Honda's sales tax, or any other charges that are included in a vehicle's package. But my point is, I want to show you the difference in the interest rate. So now let's look on to the right. Whereas you can see a person with an excellent credit score might be charged as low as 3% or even lower than that, but I'm just utilizing a 3% interest rate at this time just to utilize it for the example so you can see the difference. So as you can see, if we take the same dollar value for the Honda Accord at $22,445 times a 3% interest rate, that's only $673.35. Now, which one would you rather pay? And I'm sure that's an easy decision. I'm sure you, like I, would rather pay $673.35 on a $22,000 vehicle rather than pay nearly $5,000 for an interest rate, which is $4,937.90. Now let's take a house, for example. I took a $335,000 home times a 12.5%, which is high in the mortgage when it comes to mortgage interest rates. It's pretty high. And that's a $41,000, $875 total dollar value at a 12.5% interest rate on a $335,000 home. Forgive me. Now let's look at a 3% interest rate for, a 3.5% interest rate for that same cost of a home at $335,000. The interest rate would be only $11,725. Now, like you, I'd rather only have to pay an interest of $11,725 than to have to pay $41,875 interest. How about you? So next, those who have credit cards, you might say, well, what's my next step after I pay off my credit cards? Remember, your goal is to strive for a lower interest rate. And how do you do that? By paying on and off your credit cards and keeping up with your month-to-month payments, whether it be your mortgage or your boat or whatever you own